Today we're going to start off with Tucson International Airport. And our first plane is at gate D2. This is a 737-800 in the Southwest delivery. This plane recently landed from Chicago Midway and will be resting for the rest of the day once the passengers disembark from the aircraft, and we'll be making a early morning flight up to or down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And then adjacent to this is a 737 MAX 8 aircraft at gate D1. This plane is being catered to, being loaded up with passengers, cargo, and food. This plane is going to shortly commence pushback and will be making its way to San Francisco, California. And then right on the tarmac, patiently waiting for clearance for departure, is an Alaska Airlines with the 737-900ER aircraft in the 2016 livery. And then adjacent to that is also a Spirit Airlines A320neo. This A320neo is going to be flying out to Las Vegas, Nevada. And then it will be making its way to Little Rock, Arkansas. It's going to be a connecting flight in which the passengers remain on the aircraft during the layover in Las Vegas. And then this plane right here, this plane's heading up to Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington is a large hub for Alaska Airlines, and then after that, it's going to have a 4-hour layover and be making it the rest of the way up to Anchorage, Alaska, where it will rest for its final destination. Right beside that, I've finished my desert scenery. I have a plateau. Over there, I have a convertible for the hot weather, some more cacti, a parking lot, which I need to do some more work on, and the terminals are finished, the terminal windows. I also bought a 1:100 scale helicopter. Right here, it's the police. I'm very happy with the way it turns out. It adds more details and more aircraft to the airport. And moving on, we're going to be heading to the Chicago Airport. I got a few new skyscrapers and a new police chopper, as you can see on the building over there. And let's make our way to this American Airlines A321. This plane is being serviced and will be heading out to Raleigh, North Carolina. Then as we make our way over to gate A4, this 737 MAX 8 aircraft in the American livery is being catered to. Also, it's being loaded up with food. And this plane's a little delayed, about an hour, due to a technical issue. But once that's resolved, this plane will be commencing pushback and will be making its way out to Toronto, Canada. It's going to be an international flight, so these flights are a little longer since people have to go through customs. And then right beside that on the tarmac, we have a 737-8 in the American livery as well. This plane just pulled off the taxiway after shortly landing from Chicago O'Hare. This plane will be heading into gate A2. Where it will disembark the passengers and then have passengers load back on to another flight down to San Antonio, Texas. At gate A3, we have an American A321-231. This plane is being cleaned out by crew for the moment to prepare it for the passengers that will be leaving later tonight for Birmingham, Alabama. Then after that, the plane will return back to Chicago's ALK. As you can see, I have a few new skyscrapers here. Some new large excavators. I have a police chopper resting on the building. I think it has a great effect. Looks very cool. I also got another building. It's a little shorter. I had to move all the skyscrapers this way due to the clearance policy for planes to land. Buildings can't be over 60 feet in the path of a runway. So I had to move all the skyscrapers over here. I'm loving the way it's turning out. It looks more real, looks more detailed every day. And then as part of the Chicago Airport too, we have a WestJet 737-700. This plane is just waiting for the clearance by the tower to depart off of runway 16-34 right here. And this WestJet is heading up to Toronto. And then it's going to be making its way to last but not least, for the Chicago Airport, we have this American Eagle Embraer-175. This plane has just recently pulled off the taxiway and will be making its way to gate A1. This plane landed from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and will be heading out in an hour or two back out to Pittsburgh International Airport. And moving on to the Portland, Oregon Airport. The reason I call this Portland, Oregon, because it kind of resembles the ecosystem that you would find there. You know, the mountains, the coniferous trees, the dense forests. So here at gate C1, we have a 737-800 in the United livery. This plane is already loaded on with passengers and just waiting clearance from the tower for pushback. This plane is going to be headed all the way out to Omaha, Nebraska. I think this is my most beautiful gate, right next to the forest and the mountain and the excavators and the water tower. This is, I believe, the most beautiful gate at my airport. And then moving on, we have this 787 Heavy, 787-9 in the United livery. This plane is being cleaned by crew members so it could prepare for the flight out to Marseille, France. I recently flew on this 787-9 to Marseille, France, and I have to say it was a pleasant flight. The 787 is very roomy. It has comfortable seating, and the best part of it is the dim windows. They have no window shades, but you can dim the windows to make it look like it's night, even though it's day outside. It's a very cool effect. And at gate C3, we have this 777-300ER in the old United livery. This plane's being cleaned out by crew members, and tomorrow morning, like 4 or 5 a.m., this plane is going to be pushing back for the long haul flight out to Rome, Italy. On the other side of the airport, we have a A321-neo in the Delta livery. This plane is heading to Salt Lake City International Airport. And on the other side of Portland's airport, we have a few choppers here. One in the police and one in a blue color scheme with a French flag on the tail. I got this chopper over over at France when I was there last week. And then right beside that, we have at gate B1 a Delta A320. This plane is being prepared for pushback. This plane is going to be headed to Salt Lake City, which is a major hub for Delta. And then this plane is going to be making its way to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then from there, it's going to make a direct flight all the way back to Portland. Right beside that, we have a Delta A220-100 at gate B3. This plane just landed from Tucson International Airport. This plane is going to be actually serviced. It's due for a maintenance update or maintenance check. So this plane will be out of service for the next couple of days, and should be resuming flights around Tuesday if it passes the maintenance check. And right beside that, we have a Delta A321neo. This plane is making its way to the runway and will be flying out to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, which is also a major hub for Delta Airlines. And finally, we're here at the Tropical Airport, located somewhere in Florida. I also purchased another 2 helicopters here from Marseille, France, at scale 1 to 100. I love the way it looks. It makes the scenery pop. It makes it more realistic, makes it more detailed. Then over here, I have, to start off with gate C5, a 737 MAX 8 aircraft in the Air Canada livery. This plane is being loaded on with passengers from the Airbus over here, the air shuttle. So this plane will be pushing back in about 15 minutes to a half hour, and we'll be making a flight all the way to Montreal, Canada. This airport is a hot vacation spot for cities all over the United States. Right next to this, we have a 737-MAX 8 aircraft. This plane is also, the air shuttle is also loading passengers onto this plane. This plane will be going to Dulles, Washington. This marks the end of their vacation for the people embarking back onto the aircraft. A direct flight to Washington Dulles. I love the way these palm trees look with the motto moss. As I mentioned in previous videos. And then right here we have an Viva Airlines A320neo. This plane is taxiing to the runway and will be taken off for Havana, Cuba. And then over here at the regional gates, with the more regional aircraft, we have an American CRJ 200. This plane's being loaded on from the airport. Excuse me. Loaded on from the airport, and this plane will be heading to Atlanta, Georgia. Just a short flight, and then from there it's going to be making its way to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. Then over here we have an Alaska Q-400. This plane is also being lined up with passengers on the tarmac. And this plane is going to be commencing pushback as well. This plane is going to be making its way to Omaha, Nebraska. And then from there, it's going to make its way north to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then from there, it's going to make its way to Salt Lake City. And from there, it's going to make a short hop flight to Seattle, Washington. So this plane's going to be busy for the next week. And then beside that, we have an ERJ -145 in the United livery. Despite the fact that it says Continental, so this plane's being loaded on with only a few passengers. This flight's going to be a relatively empty one. This plane is going to be heading up to Boston, Massachusetts. Then as we make our way along the coast of the ocean and across the town, we have this Allegiant Airlines in the MD-80 aircraft. This plane is going to be just about to get on the runway, and it's going to blast off to, let's say Raleigh, North Carolina. Then this plane after that is going to make its way back down to Florida. Then as we make our way to the other side of the airport, we have a Spirit A321neo. This plane is going to be heading to Indianapolis, Indiana. And then right in front of that, which is first in line for takeoff, this 737-700 WestJet will be making its way to Toronto. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. I will have more details about the airport next week and new traffic patterns. Have a nice week. Thanks, guys. Hi, folks. Welcome to another ALK update. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you to all my subscribers, people who comment and like on my videos.